up, boys and girls, ladies and gentlemen, day traders, closet swing traders? Hope you guys are doing absolutely fantastic. Hope you guys had an incredible weekend. I see you guys are still piling into the rooms, but we got Adam. Good morning to you. We got Bill, Brian. Good morning. Dylan, Fabrice is in the house. Good morning to Greg G. Good morning to Jay, Jeremy. Good morning, JT, Kevin. We got Ron, Win. All my peeps out in YouTube land. We got Bill. Good morning to you. Whew. Daniel out in YouTube land, good morning to you. Let's see what the market wants to do for this week. There is a lot of data meetings. Probably more data than anything this week coming out. But it seems like we do have a little bit of a hefty week, a little bit of a gap up on some individual stocks, some stocks making a little bit of noise, at least today. The question is, can any of this hold up? And is it enough? So let's start with the SPY as always, just to get a brief idea where we're at. Let me see if we could take one of these at least off. This was the this Fibonacci right here is the 50% retracement one. So this one's a little bit longer term, and we're holding that 38%. I'm sorry, the 23% retracement at this point. If you're following moon phases, there's a super full moon. Just saying. It's not even a regular full moon, just a super duper full moon. All right. I don't even what makes it a super moon. It's a full moon and it wears a cape. That's I guess what it is. All right. So there is a super full moon this week. We'll see. But we do have a little bit of a gap up again, a bit of a high wave indecision. The interesting part about this one so far is this entire thing is at the very bottom lower end for most of the activity. We have a little bit of a trap wick. And if we do want to rise, we had to really come back and test some of those VPOCs down there. So we did test those VPOCs. I have my imaginary numbers on my chart for 438.91. And we did get saved last week. We closed above it. We're staying above it. I would put targets or at least immediate resistance, probably somewhere in this 442.91 zone. To the downside, I'd have to be back to like this 439.23. So a little bit more room actually to the downside than to the higher side of things. And that's if this resistance holds and we cannot break out of it. So we'll see if we can get a little bit more momentum, but that is a big, massive bearish engulfing candle. I don't know if I'd be surprised to see us. Where's that pen? Here it is. Oh, out of the gate, maybe we get a little bit of bullish momentum into this. I think maybe we pull back. We chop around for a little bit longer, and then if we want to break out, that would make sense to me. So just kind of coming back into the zone. But even this VPOC, it was retested, but I think this is where resistance will lie. And then if we do something like that, probably next target puts us maybe square back into just under 447.50, something like that. So Jeremy says a full moon which occurs with the moon at or near within 90% of its closest approach to Earth. Okay. Full moon. Change of market cycle. We just went through a bearish one. So does that mean we get a super bull market? Oh, we'll see. We're about to find out one way or the other. We got the Qs well aware about super full moon. They're jumping up a little bit. It looks very similar to the SPY, the higher range here. And I think in this range, we have a little bit actually more holding it back than I think the SPY does. But targets to the higher side, at least a immediate target we got to watch for is 369.23. That would be a spot I think it could get held up at. And then to the downside, we probably have about 364.72. So somewhere in that range. And I think it's going to be very, until we start breaking and really closing above those big candles. I can't really go full on bullish yet, but we do have a nice little gap up, to say the least. Tesla. from Adam, we got Tesla X PEV. If you guys have any tickers you want to take a look at, make sure you guys throw that into the chat. Lurkin says bullish on super full moons. Jennifer Level wants to take a look at Triple M. Good morning to Ivo. We got Jason P. King in YouTube. Richard Jack. Good morning. Ola. Good morning. All right, so Tesla, a little bit of a gap up. Elon coming back swinging. He wants to participate in the AI rally. So he's been talking about how AI is going to affect Tesla as far as self-driving. I think he had a goal of like 10,000. I think he said 10,000 Teslas to have AI on the road, I think by next year. So we're going to get the AI story if that's still a thing. I don't know. Did NVIDIA kill it? Can Tesla bring it back? I don't know. This is a major retest gap into a little bit of a resistance. I'd probably look for a fade if it could get a little bit higher. So I want to watch this thing around 245, 43. Anything we have good support somewhere around 235, 236. So if this thing fades, that's where I would look for this thing to hold up a little bit higher. But anything above that 235, 236 would be bullish to me on Tesla, and that could signify a little bit of a balance. This thing is sold off a lot. And then anything really under 227 for me, that would be my bear case. So 235 and up, I'm liking things more bullish on Tesla. But this is a retest gap at the open. So I don't know if I'd be the first one to jump in there bullish. It might have a little bit more room to run. So you could probably get another $2 out of this thing out of the gate. I do like the fact that we're breaking out of this little pivot. So this is big consolidation. We had 4 days of consolidation, trying to figure out which way we want to break. This to me would make sense that now you got some more bulls in this thing going, all right, we've decided some shorts got to close some positions out. Any shorts that went into here or here, to me, that would be a spot of them now losing on their trade. Now that we did break out one way or the other, they're looking to probably lose as little as possible. But we have some bulls that have been coming in. So I think we get a little bit of, again, to the upside, maybe if we start running, I think maybe $2. But I would like to see something like this come in. That would be probably the opportunity if you do want to try it long. That is going to be a much better spot to do it. But we'll have to see if this gap at all. I mean, there was some volume coming in on that candle. So we're definitely trapping a couple of bears here. I would love to see some kind of retest and then look long, maybe even if it's later in the day. But Tesla is going to be definitely a highly active stock today. So we'll see. We get that up higher. All right. XPEV. Lucian's in the house. Good morning, Lucian. XPEV. Nice gap up on XPEV. Did they have news? I think we had some more China news. So I think like JD's moving. I think Baba's moving. XPEV would move along with it. But I think there's good news for China in general. Sector news didn't load. Okay. Fake news. That's fake news when they just have a headline and nothing else. XPEV to buy DiDi's smart vehicle arm. Launched new EV brand, the stock. Yeah, and some of the bullishness is also around China EV as well. So that could also actually give Tesla a little bit of lift further. American Depository Receipt XPeng climb more than 4%. All right, so XPeng is buying DiDi. Again, we are opening into a little bit of resistance up here as well on a retest gap. This one I think will fade. So I probably decent news again if it comes down and you're looking to go long. I probably wouldn't go long here. I'd probably wait for see if we can get a little bit of a pullback back down to the 1754. Maybe a little bit of a short spot up here as well. I think you have a little bit maybe better range on Tesla if you're playing anything than XPEV. You probably only have $1 to the downside, and then see if we can recover from there. But we have to see where this thing wants to actually open. If this could open a little bit higher, yeah, even if it opens higher, I'm looking at maybe 1965 as a target. So it doesn't give me too much room to play. But I would love to see this thing come back, fade, we are at resistance. We did have some buying into this, and some people are waking up today with a little bit more money in their pocket than they went to sleep with. They might want to take some profits here, but we'll have to see. I'm going to watch this one, so we have it on the list, and we'll see if we can get any type of pullback. 3M. There's a really, really good gap on 3M today. They do have news that they are looking to settle the lawsuit for about 5.5 billion to probably me and you. Not so much Lucian. He's like, yeah, it's chump change. But everybody else, yeah, probably that seems like a big deal. However, this is the settlement for the earpiece that which was defaulty, and there's 300,000 lawsuits or whatever crazy number it is. They could have had a much bigger number. Again, I don't think it's actually settled. It's rumors that they're talking about a 5.5 billion settlement. So while that's bad, that's really good for 3M. That's really, really good for 3M if they can escape with that amount of loss and nothing more. And probably the way they structured is a lot like the other one that they just settled, where it will be most likely not all up front, and it's probably over a certain time period, which would give them the ability to kind of really just wipe that whole disaster away. So that's really good news on 3M. Anytime we've seen gaps on 3M based on settlements, we've been fading them back down. So they have been selling. I don't know how this is their biggest lawsuit news that they have on the table. This is the one that everyone's been watching. So can we get the same reaction? Maybe. This is a really, really good gap. I think if we get a fade, we're probably looking to hold this 102.87. I don't think we're fading all the way back down here. We'll see. I'd be shocked and surprised if we do, especially today, maybe over the course of next few days, next few weeks. But that is good news. We're definitely taking out a decent amount of bears. The bigger volume came in all the way up here, so that hasn't really been retested yet. Targets to a bullish side. Again, I don't think today, this is already a really big gap, but 109.59, I think over time would be my future target for it. I think we're gonna have some people on 3M wanting to take these profits and look for some kind of fade back down to 103, somewhere in that range, and then probably the spot to maybe look initially at first to take this thing higher. But that is what the investors have been waiting for. Some kind of news or development on the earpiece lawsuit, and we got it today. So we will see. Let me see. I'm trying to read the comments. Let's see. We got spot, and then we want to take a look at. We want to take a look at Boeing as well. All right. So a little bit of a gap up on. Oh, no, this is SPY. Let me put in spot. And we'll take off these targets, these trades. All right. Spotify. Unless it's doing something really crazy, I don't see it moving really pre-market. So I think it's set to open somewhere in the general vicinity of where it closed at. We have a little bit of a bull run. This could be a little tiny flag on this thing. That is an interesting candle. I'd be looking for more of a swing trade probably on this one. So if this is our flag that's kind of building, this is our flag. Oh, we do have a little bit of, we're still making lower lows, not lower highs yet, but could this be the start of something? I think so. I think this would be, let me take that line off. I think I'd be looking somewhere for a break here, and then your stop maybe somewhere down here on a swing trade. But that is a very interesting hammer. It shows us that there is still some bulls in here. This could have been a little bit of a retest into this VPOC. And even if you throw in your stops down here, if you do get a break, you get a decent close, you could probably raise it. At least you're risking less than an hour on that trade, but spot could be an interesting move for a swing. I don't see too much, unless I'm missing something, I don't see too much moving pre-market on Spotify. We'll see. What was the other one? Boeing. For Matthew. Wants to take it as a swing trade. Yeah. Maybe. This is still a little bit of a downtrend that we're in. So we haven't broken that yet. We have a bunch of different VPOCs up here. So the latest one would be 227.95. We gapped down off some pretty awful news. This is a retest. I think our target on this one, if you're looking for a swing, you really have to watch out for 228.16. That's probably where we hit the most resistance. That still keeps us into this downtrend. Albeit it is a very shorter term downtrend, but you do have a double top up here as well. I like this retest location though. If you were to try to get to a swing, and again, I don't know if your risk reward is going to be worth it to really want to take that risk at this point, but I'd probably be looking something bullish there, almost play this candle. So then your stop is here. My biggest problem on this one as a swing trade is I really do think this 228.16 is going to give it a solid resistance. So if I'm setting up a trade somewhere like that where you're waiting for a little bit of a pullback, you'd have to be under the assumption this downtrend breaks. And again, the earnings weren't bad. They were pretty decent. So maybe that's the case, but that you really need this 228.16 to break. We close it, and then you're probably looking for, if I could get back up here as a target, then you have really good risk reward on this thing as a swing. Then you're getting about possible 2 R's, risking in R, risk rewards in your favor, and that's how I would look to try it. But if you don't think that area could break, then you're really losing a lot of value on the trade. So wave count wise, I don't know where this one starts, which would be another issue for me. Right now, this is my biggest wave. So then I got to go with, that's my 2, that's my 1, this is my 4, 5, and then this is my consolidation. So if that's the case, then yeah, you will be looking bullish on that. You're looking for a break. I just don't know what happens here. So just be aware of that spot. As soon as you get there, I think we get a pullback, and then maybe that's probably what you can wait for as well. But that wick did come in, it bounced off of a decent volume area. That's what you want to see. That's a good retest. And I think it could get ready to start going. Just not sure that it's there yet. All right. What else do we got? AHT to 350 resistance. AHT. So this is going to be a little bit of a cheaper stock. Again, I only day trade stocks that are over $5. So this wouldn't be a day trade for me. Definitely could swing trade it. You're looking for 575 long term. Depends on how you define long term. 575, it's going to take unless you know something that I don't know, it's going to take some time to get there. I would be highly looking at about 370. So if this is a good double bottom, which we got a little support, might be worth the try to buy here. Decent risk reward, probably having some kind of stops at even if you go a little wider, probably about 246. Decent risk reward, but you have to watch out for, I think, 366 on this one. If 366 breaks, your next target probably about 426, and then a much bigger area would be about 550, 556. Somewhere in that zone would be a bigger target. Longer term, if you really want to go longer term, yeah, I mean there's potential back to $14, but you got a lot of time. I think it's going to take to get there, and we got to get through a lot. We have to fight. We got Fastly. Win says at Adam, if I take a trade, I'll post it. Yeah, well, of course. We want to see you. I think you've hit every trade in August so far. I'm pretty sure. Fastly looks interesting. Not a lot really holding this thing down. We're in a wide open field on this. Even a really nice close on Friday. Still opening above it. We're open above the VPOX, a little pull down. I'd want to see 2209 hold at this point. We're in a nice little uptrend. I would think usually, I mean, this is a bullish engulfing candle. This is a breakout candle. Usually we could get some kind of pullback to kind of meet with that VPOC. So somewhere buying, if we could get it around $20.96, that would be an interesting spot. But even for a day trade, I got to move this thing up higher on the list. There's really not a lot holding this thing back. Only 12 of 15. I'll still take that trade. That's still good. That's good. That's good odds for me. Fastly, yeah, there's not a lot up until 25. It would be the start of maybe some volume coming in. Otherwise, 26, 27. Again, can we get there today? I don't know. The market is a little bit more bullish than bearish. But again, also, this is I think overall on the SPY, it is a retest. Same thing with a lot of things that we've looked at. There's a lot of retests out there. And maybe that extra weight, but that was a very strong close. Yeah, we gotta keep watching Fastly. See if that one pulls back at all. Let me take a look at Ford. Give me 1 second, guys. All right, so we got Ford. We have a little bit of maybe an area for a swing. Came down, tested. You're holding right now. That's support. That was resistance. That's your new support. You are holding. We got a little bit of a bear trap down there. You have bigger volume at 1148. So if I get my stops under 1148 somewhere, that might not be a bad location to look. We're going to have the pressure from some of those moving averages above us. Otherwise, interesting high wave. For today, though, for a day trade, we're right where we close, so there's no real momentum. And we are just in this sideways chop. So really until we get to like 1206, that's our confirmation. But yeah, building up a couple shares here, having a stop again somewhere, maybe even like 1140, something like that. Give yourself a little bit of room. But yeah, that was a decent looking bear trap that we put in on Friday for Ford. So it might be a spot that you want to consider for picking shares up to go bullish. Just make sure you know where your stop is. If it breaks down, it could get a little bit ugly. Larkin says I only trade stocks under $5 on super full moons. I don't want to say don't do that. Just stick with what's working. I don't do it. Probably because you're manipulating my $5 stocks every time I try to buy it, Larkin. And you're pushing me around. So therefore you win, I lose. I don't like it. I don't like it one bit. AI is still holding that 618, tiny little big gap up. Got about 25-cent gap up. I do like this area a lot. We got moving averages to support us. We got the 618 to support us. Maybe that's a 1, 2. That's a 3. This would be a very small 4, 5. So I kind of wish that was a little bit bigger. And again, we have positive news from at least Elon talking about AI again. If NVIDIA wants to move, and I think NVIDIA was pretty frozen at the at least when I looked at it this morning. Okay, we got a little bit more of a push now. If NVIDIA wants to get going and this can get saved and bulls are still there, there's your AI story. That's going to lift everything AI related. I don't know who's going to come out and upgrade NVIDIA at these prices. I don't know what the next catalyst is. Even if we're looking into the next earnings, yeah, we absolutely crushed the earnings this time. I would expect that they crush it again next time as well. So I just don't know where the catalyst is for anything AI really to continue to run. Even individual companies, it's going to be tough if NVIDIA is not going to be able to hold. This was one of the bigger leaders into the run-up. So we'd have to look. Win says, I think $25 is bullish for AI. That's where you want to buy it. I'm mean, at that point, I'd probably go a little. Yeah, it's not bad. I'd probably go a little bit lower. I'd say, can we get to like 2340, 2350? But in that general zone, it's still. I mean, this is still to me looking a little bit head and shoulders on AI. That would make my neckline something. I don't know. No, probably not there. Probably more here. So I think that's my neckline. And my biggest issue with AI is that was most likely the attempted retest into that neckline. And I think there's just more pressure coming in. But we are holding at that 618. So that to me, the trade for me would be entry somewhere around here. My stop is right underneath this big red candle. And it would be at least a very tight setup. So risk reward wise, I mean, if we get back to $32, there's definitely 2 R's in there. So it depends on how you want to set this thing up. I don't think we're completely bullish yet on AI. All depends for me what Nvidia is doing really. GNS. Jeremy's taking a look at this one. Yeah, it looks like a decent breakout candle. There you go, lurking. There's your under $5 stock. Double bottom, higher lows in a longer term basis. There's a decent looking gap. I don't know what again, Genius Group. I believe Genius Group's AI, EV, which we have some good EV news out of China at least. Probably Neo might be getting a bounce too. Again, I'm not going to day trade this one. I can't. But swing trade, if this thing comes back down again, yeah, maybe that double bottom holds. NIO. Neo has a little. I kind of like Neo better. At least if we're going to day trade something, I'm gonna put Neo high on my list actually. You got positive Chinese news, positive EV news. You're gapping pretty much. If we could get a little bit higher, that'd be better. Next target on this thing to the higher side, probably about 1150. So it would have to be a tight setup. But on a swing trade basis, we're holding decent volume area. So if your stop is somewhere below there, this is also probably about a 50% 618 retracement. Let's see if I got time to do this. Let's see, something like this. There you go. Getting held up at the 618, gapping out of this. I don't know. Neo might be an interesting looking swing trade. Right at that 618. We got 1 minute. No, too quick. Too quick. But unfortunately, everybody in YouTube land, while I do appreciate you joining us each and every day, we will be back tomorrow. I think Maloney's on tomorrow. I think we got Maloney coming back tomorrow. So she will see all you guys in YouTube land. Everybody else, make sure you guys check out reallifetrading.com. We do this from 9 in the morning until 6 p.m. We trade, we have classes, we have education sessions. We got some crazy talented people that know what is going on in the market and how to make money from it. So you guys are more than welcome to check that out and be with us each and every day. But that is the opening bell. Make sure you guys hit the like and subscribe button on the way out, and we'll catch you guys tomorrow. Take it easy.